so many names from King Booga, DJ Booga, Copperbelt, given us hits after hits, and now he goes by the retired general, the one and only Macky, to join us here on the Upper Squad. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for accepting it. I've been pestering Sean for a long time. I've been texting and calling, but it's amazing that you're here. I mean, there's a lot to talk about, but I can't start without asking, what are you doing in the gym? Because people, even Vida said the first question should be, what is he doing in the gym? Because when you took off your jacket at the Chef 197 show, we all lost it. You retired to be a gym man.
Yeah, so first of all, about that whole event, there was one comment that really cracked me up. Somebody said, and really, like, for me, it depends on how you look at it, but for me, is you go all out for your own, you know what I mean? You even do push yourself even more than you would push yourself for your own events. And every time I perform, I just try and bring some extra sauce to the performance. People have seen me perform a million times, you know what I mean? So you need something extra. As for the gym, I've been going to the gym for a long time. Mika Gym gave me this lifetime membership.
Yeah.
Perks of being a celebrity. But anyway, so I used to go to the gym, and the instructor would be so hard on me that the next time I would just be like, Till I decided, like, yo, I'm going to look up my own fitness routine and find something that really works for me, so that at least, even if the progress is slow, but at least it's consistent.
Oh, the progress,
you know what I mean?
is showing.
So I guess that's my secret. I don't go and kill myself every time at the gym. I just go there, and as long as I'm consistent, as long as I keep going, I guess one day
we've seen it. We've seen the progress. And Lucky Antinga, she's really bagged something. Now we get into the actual questions. I mean, your lifespan, your journey, and even before we went on, you say, I'm just scratching the surface, has really been one that's amazing to see. You have managed to stay, not only get to the top, but stay at the top, and also push and pull people towards the top. I mean, just recently, a Facebook post surfaced where you said your maps is the next big thing. And like magic, it did happen. He is the big thing right now. We've seen you do rap, we've seen you do melodic rap, we've seen you do international features. There's a lot that Macky has offered over the years. How would you describe all of this?
Yesterday I was chatting with a few young friends of mine who were like, if you had to give me pointers, like, obviously some of these new artists don't have to start from square one like we started, you know what I mean? The industry will only grow if they almost start from where we are now, so that they build on what we've built. Here. But unfortunately, the journey has taught me so many things that I wouldn't want anyone to skip that journey. The process is so important that you learn so much. Like, a lot of who I am today wouldn't exist if I skipped that journey. So I encourage all the young artists out there to just trust the process, enjoy it, because, you know, like, the way you make music when you are comfortable and things have worked out for you is very different from when you're a struggling artist.
Say that again.
There's passion, there's originality, there's so much there. I remember one of J Max's first song was this song called Upcoming at the Powerful. You know what I mean? And that really stuck to me, you know what I mean? You're not boxed. People don't have all these huge expectations for you. You're still original. You haven't yet been corrupted by the industry politics and so on and so forth. You know, but under the ignorance is bliss. Where you just think like, this is dope, and you go to the studio and record it and put it out. But you get to a certain point where you know so much about the industry that you know, like, this won't work. I can't say this won't play on radio. And your creative process goes through a lot of filtering that when you actually come out with the final product, it's not even you know what I mean? It's not really what you would have put out if you didn't have all these filters. So yeah, it's been one hell of a journey, and at some point I just looked back and felt like, yo, we actually won a couple of Song of the Year awards, a couple of Video of the Year awards, Artist of the Year, Album of the Year awards. And sometimes you can't even pinpoint a moment where you felt like, you know what, I made it.
Yeah,
you can't, because when you achieve this, it's almost like you are chasing the next thing and the next thing, and you never took time to soak it in. And now when I look back, I'm like, yo, it seems like
that happened.
90% of my career is already like
it's behind.
Yeah. But because of that, it puts me in a position where I'm able to appreciate certain things more now. You know what I mean? Like every now and then I really take time to soak up the moment, or to appreciate just how blessed and lucky I am to have had such a career.
Yeah.
Also, like obviously everybody just wants to better themselves and become better every single day and work on themselves consistently, but I think it's also important to just look back and appreciate even the little that we've been able to achieve.
We can't call it little, because people come on the show every single time, and when you ask about who inspired you to make music or to be a rapper, your name, Sishot. Like everybody's like, I want to be like Macky too, you know, I want to be part of the Copperbelt Swag gang. And you've inspired so many people. So to say, I knew Copperbelt through you, through your music. A lot of us here in Lusaka knew a lot about Copperbelt through you and how you express and explain life. What I love about you is, like you said, there's power in the upcoming, and that's why in this retired phase that we're going to get to soon, you decided to give us the 10 out of 10, the top 10 out of 10. Now this project, of course, like a lot of things you do, received both views. You know, people were happy for it. I personally was happy, but there was a point I wasn't happy, like, oh, why is this one, and this one here when you say 10 out of 10? But how far with this project? I know you said you're going to give us an update. This is the best place to give the update.
The beauty about like a lot of creative work that we do is the administrative part should be a big part, but it's not as big as the creative process. So a lot of it has to do with emotions, and it has to do with inspiration, and it has to feel like great, you know, that sort of thing. The creative process shouldn't be too technical.
Yeah.
So if you're having an data, by the end of the month, we should be able to have recorded this whole project. And then people are not inspired, or people have writer's block, it kind of derails the timeline. But so far, 98% of the work has been done. We're just trying to really see how we could roll it out effectively. I've worked with a number of young upcoming artists in the past, emerging artists, and these days I say it out loud, but a lot of people don't, is that an older established artist working with a younger artist or emerging artist is actually good for them too. You know what I mean? They're tapping into a completely different fan base. People would have never listened to them if they never worked with the young artist. For example, Exile is one great example. He's someone was there before us. He's lived through our intake of artists, and now he's tapping into the newer,
the next one,
Yo Maps, Chile one intake, and that's because he's been able to work with everybody, and that has kept him relevant. I learn a lot from working with young artists, so it's not just me giving these young artists a platform. It also kind of helps me, one, remain relevant, two, also just be introduced to a completely different audience, and also me just being able to know how the industry is moving from all perspectives. Quite a way there, Zambian music industry, what worked 10 years ago can't work now.
Yeah.
It's like a moving train. So even when you study it now, tomorrow it won't be there. You know what I mean?
Place, yeah.
A couple years Sorry, I have no short answers.
No, I'm happy. Like, I'm just here learning. I think I should get a notepad and start writing these
So yeah,
down.
a couple of years back, TikTok was like, for me, I used to look at this like, this is for comedians and dancers. But right now, it's the biggest marketing tool. And that's how the industry evolves. And if you don't evolve with the industry, somehow you get left out and you become extinct. So me just working with younger artists, emerging artists, is not just good for the industry or for these young artists, but it's also good for me.
That is interesting to see. One more thing about the 10 out of 10. Northern Province decided to put Muzo Eke Alfonso as their pick for it.
Yeah, so exactly. So sorry, I
derailed.
But so, if you really followed it, it started with an artist from Mongu called Mambo Jambo. That artist asked for a feature and I said, yo, let's do it. And when he said let's do it, I just saw how the whole Western Province backed this artist. And it felt like this is a Western Province song and not just a Mambo Jambo song. So I felt like, you know what, let's see if we can do the same thing for all these provinces. Let's see if we can find one artist who everybody there feels like this is the artist that we want to push.
Okay.
So it had nothing to do with young upcoming artists or emerging artists or whatever. It just had, like, as a province, us from Luapula, we want this guy. And I didn't care if it was like some old 65-year-old man or a Kalindula band, or it doesn't matter. Whoever the province feels like this is the person is the one we're going to go with. So Mambo Jambo is actually like a big artist in the Western Province. Everybody knows who Mambo Jambo is. The artist they picked from Southern Province, Mr. Crown, is actually a big artist in the Southern Province. Same thing with the artist they picked from Northern Province, Cox. But all these guys felt like young upcoming artists because you guys just don't know them.
We don't know them.
Yeah. But when it came to Muzo, Northern Province, Muzo, everybody knows who Muzo is.
Yeah.
So everybody's like, but why are you picking this guy? Like, why you... But the people spoke, and who am I to say no? Same thing happened on the Copperbelt. They picked Chile. And Chile came forward and said, guys, I think I have a platform and I really appreciate you picking me, but let's give this opportunity to somebody else. So we decided to do like a cypher type of song for the Copperbelt.
Okay.
But yeah, it's sad that out of 10 provinces, almost 95% of the content, music or film or whatever, that's on TV is just from the Copperbelt and Lusaka. You know what I mean? All these other provinces need a shot too. And some of these things will only happen if we deliberately or intentionally make them happen.
Put it out there.
So that's what the 10 of 10 is. It's just showcasing music from all 10 provinces of Zambia.
That's amazing. You say that you're taking up a different role with your music. Olijaba did great. I want to ask, what was Stigen? Because we never got to see what that is. But also, this new phase of being the retired general, it seems to piss people off on Facebook, because even just on our post, when we said we'll be talking his retirement, and everybody was livid about, why is he making music? What is he doing? So what is the direction with the brand? Is it now like, you know how we had Flavor Boy, we now have retired general, and then we see something else after that? What's the dynamic with this?
So when people talk retirement, they talk umuntu achitafe retire alekaya nakuona kufama, you know, that sort of thing. But that people who would retire from doing this and go on and start doing something else. It doesn't mean like they've retired from working or from... So I believe like I was meant to do bigger things, and not just, I'm not just limited to becoming a musician. You are just an artist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was meant for bigger things. And so apart from me pursuing different things that I'll talk about later, I think we have, and I said this while I was doing like my media tour for my album, like we have so many people on stage and not enough people in the background. And even some of those people in the background, they don't have the expertise or the experience that a lot of people on stage have. You know what I mean? So they might understand the administrative side of ABCD and
down.
so on and so forth, but they don't understand from an artist's perspective. So it's important for a few of us to just step back a bit and also just sort out things from the background. And I guess when I said I retired, that's what I was really talking about. Not that I was completely not going to be involved in music or was not going to put out anything, but I was just going to take a step back and see how we could handle a bit of the administrative side, also the management side of the music. And very soon, you'll see a lot of this happen. Even the 10 of 10 project is something that I really have time for now because I'm not pushing my career like that. Yeah, it's more focused on just building the industry. Stigen is also one of those things that I'm doing in the background. Stigen was initially supposed to be like a streaming platform where people could access music and the artists would actually benefit from people who are listening and so on and so forth. So, if I have 1 million people on Facebook who swear they love me or they love my music, and when I put out music within weeks, it has 1 million views, do you know who's really making a killing off that content?
The streaming platform.
Not really. Network providers. These are the people who are selling data. People pay for music and pay for content, but they pay via buying data and streaming for free on YouTube or on Facebook or and so on and so forth. So Stigen allows that fan of yours to subscribe, whether they are going to pay 10 kwacha to listen to everything that's on the platform, but at least that money is going to the artist, you know, that sort of thing. So I really just wanted to create like a platform where even out of the 1 million people who follow me, even just 10% of those people could support my music via streaming my music for 10 kwacha a month or something like that.
Yeah.
And that money would directly come to the artist. You know what I mean? I really think that's a game changer.
I don't want to get into industry politics, but you've raised a very important point here. Do you think our artists are really making money off these numbers? Because we've seen over the last year, numbers have made a big impact in our industry.
Definitely.
We've seen millions of views. We've seen highest album. And you also have had that share with Odijaba being there with those millions. Are you actually making millions in the bank?
Okay, so obviously there's a reason why those numbers in terms of money are not out there. They're deliberately kept away. So anyway, I'll start with YouTube, for example. YouTube is an advertiser-based platform. So people don't subscribe to watch content on YouTube. YouTube gets paid off the advertisers that are on that platform. Same thing with Facebook and all these other platforms. An advertiser will pay way more money in where there's an audience that has great buying power, and less money where there's an audience that has less
You're
buying
meandering around the answer. This is a very direct. No. You're not going to give us a PR
No, I need to make you understand
we
why people don't make as much money as you think they make on these platforms.
And that's because
so an audience, someone who has an audience in Zambia is making way less money than someone who has an audience in the States, because the States has
a big audience,
buying power. You know what I mean? So you'd find that 1 million views in the States and 1 million views in the people get paid really different amounts.
Is that right?
Yes, it is. The same thing I'm saying. If you're going to advertise on Diamond TV, you get real value for your money than if you're advertising on a TV station in Porokoso. You know what I mean? Buying power is different. So that's fair. But there are a lot of dynamics that determine also how much money you're going to get paid. All I can say is artists are making money, at least because we have A-list, B-list, C, D-list artists. At least A-list artists are making money. Otherwise,
they have to make.
Now,
we have to wrap it up because we have to talk about the song Sorry. But I had a fun, little activity we could do together. So in one word, I know you're a man of many words, but in one word, when I say a song that you've done, you tell me the one word that comes to mind. Is that okay? Okay. Yes. So 99 Jobs.
That's not my song.
That's not your song?
No.
It's listed as your song on Instagram. Oh, that's a Chef 187 song. Okay, my bad.
Sound like me.
That's somebody who sounds like you. Who is he? A la Balance.
Hope.
Yeah?
Do you want me to explain?
No. Just Hope. Hope is fine. We have the opening of your Olijaba album with FJ on it.
The intro.
Yes.
Original.
Yeah. We have Ephraim and Jamba, Umutima Wandi.
Grace.
And lastly, we have I'm Sorry, your recent discography.
I'm sorry. So I'd say disappointment, but or maybe accountability. When I wrote, music is amazing if you can write something that's really from your heart or something that you're really passionate about, and it resonates with people. It's magic. You know what I mean? It just feels like, even for a song like that feels like I'm actually doing some good in society, or I'm actually putting out some music that will help somebody out. It just feels great when people receive music like as well as you thought they would, or at least quite a situation and someone tell me that I didn't win on Saturday, she went to school, you know what I mean? Yeah. That type of reaction. Yeah. And then there are songs like Nangubanchinge that even today people tell me you don't know what I was going through, and that song really helped me through a lot of issues. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing with this Sorry song. It's really like a crisis out there, you know what I mean? There are so many people who are going through depression, anxiety, and just life is already kicking our ass out there. It's hard enough out there, you know what I mean? And people resort to so many different vices just to comfort themselves. And we have a lot of young people who are just going through it right now. And at some point, all of us take accountability, you know? Some of us actually do something about it, but uli wants to feel our phenomenon. Kulaba feel kuishwati. I should try my best to just try and do better. Especially in what now about disappoint. They say mothers cry 3 types of tears. Tears of joy, tears of sorrow, and tears of shame. When they're just embarrassed that this kid is just...
What has happened.
And those tears, believe me, they change people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In 2011, I went to prison, and before she like when I chika salange chako ku prison, salo de shazo no mfiashwa nkushe. This woman who is like my mother, she's my aunt, but she's the one who raised me, and she was in tears, and it just changes you know what I mean? I know a lot of young people out there who are going through it, and when you talk to them, you know their heart is in the right place and they're doing everything possible to make their parents proud or just make something out of their life. But it's hard, man.
Yeah.
It's hard. A lot of times we just criticize people, wow, it's sanka junkie, but we need to take time to really process or try and understand why this person is going through this or is seemingly self-destructing. You know, so that song for me was just something that I penned just so that all those people going through those things could feel like, you know what, that guy gets it, like he understands. I really want to make my parents proud, but it's hard and I'm trying. You know, so it has, like, it's a double-edged sword. It highlights just what would eventually happen if you go through this path, but it also, on this side, just highlights that, yo, even these same people that you're criticizing and looking down on have this side of them that just feels like, guy, I know I'm a screw up. I know I've done these things, you know what I mean? And I'm trying to do better.
That's amazing to see. Also, what I loved about the song is you let your creativity shine. It was very uncapped, and somebody in my ear is screaming, so we have to wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
I'm excited to see what you have planned for the year. I'm excited to hear 10 of 10, and just have I think we need to have another conversation because there's a lot to unpack. But we were joined by the one and only Macky to King Booga, an icon in our industry, and he's just scratched the surface of what he has to offer. Here's I'm Sorry by Macky 2. On the other side, we're going to read what you have to say about the show and the interview. We'll be back right after this.